Welcome back, people. It is April 28th. If you're hearing this, you're at an advantage. So, people are waiting for Bitcoin's price to drop. I was too. But now, I believe a different type of storm is brewing in the crypto market that could change the cycle that everyone is so fond of. Even if a correction comes, it may not look the same as we expect. So let's go down a little bit of history. So back in 2017, the CEO of JP Morgan said Bitcoin is a fraud. So here you can see he says, I would fire his workers. I would fire them in a second for two reasons. It is against our rules and they are stupid and both are dangerous. He said the cryptocurrency isn't going to work. You can't have a business where people can invent a currency out of thin air and think that people who are buying it are really smart. Very, very interesting thing he said in 2017. So let's fast forward a little bit to 2021. So JP Morgan is preparing to offer an actively managed Bitcoin fund to certain clients, becoming the latest and largest, well, even if their CEO doesn't like it, asset class for billionaires and millionaires. So JP Morgan has just rolled out this initiative for the mega wealthy families with billions in net worth to enter the market. So when this happens, a lot of money will flood the cryptocurrency market. And here's the thing, when they buy in bulk. And when they buy in bulk, they keep it, right? And that's basic supply and demand. When there is less supply, what happens to and when there's high demand, which there is, cryptocurrency demand is high and it's only bound to be getting higher, right? So when the supply is shrinking, demand is going to skyrocket. So, right, here is one more bit of information. So more institutional investors jumping into Bitcoin is leaving less to go around, data shows, right? Basically what I was just talking about. So currently there are only 4 million Bitcoins circulating freely in a blockchain. And over the past couple months, it's getting smaller and smaller. We have a complete total supply of 21 million Bitcoin that can ever be created. And currently in the market, there are 18 million of those in existence currently that are mined already. So the rest are not mined yet and they'll be mined in the future. But 4 million of those coins are in circulation, meaning they are exchanging hands. So they're being traded in the market. The rest of them are just kept in people's wallets. And a lot of them are these big billionaires, right? They're keeping Bitcoin in their wallets. So that's very scary because, ladies and gentlemen, the big players have entered the chat. And if you think about the basic law of supply and demand, with low supply and high demand, prices will rise. And these players are keeping Bitcoin. They're not trading it. Eventually, the amount in circulation will be so low that the prices will be insane. This is what we expect. Everyone expects this, but we just don't know when it's going to happen, right? So there's supposed to be a cycle going on. But to me, I don't know. It's starting to look a lot sooner than later that this supply and demand is going to be very, very shocking for a lot of people. So now we have 87% of Bitcoin investments in 2020 came from institutional investors, and they were dominated by asset managers. So Grayscale is one of the largest digital currency asset managers, and they reported that 1.2 billion was inflow into the products from 2013 and 2019. But if we take a look at 2020, we can see that they are sitting at $20.2 billion worth of Bitcoin. Insane. So things are very, very quick. They're moving very, very rapidly. And here's the thing, when it comes to big institutional investors, they invest in bulk, like I said, and they continue to do it over time. So as we can see here, on this graph, it says Grayscale buys 2,612 Bitcoin worth $98 million over 24 hours. It was 2.9 times the amount of daily Bitcoin mined, meaning they're taking more off the market than is being entering the market. So entering the market meaning Bitcoin's being mined. So the Bitcoins being mined are what's entering the market, and what they're buying is a lot more than what is entering the market. And this was just one company, one institutional investor. It's very scary because a lot of them are starting to actually flood the market now, which is going to change a lot in what we really understand as the cryptocurrency market. And now everything I'm saying today, this is just my opinions. I am just pointing out a lot of informational stuff that makes me believe so. So you don't necessarily have to agree with what I'm saying. I'm just pointing out facts. So now let's talk about public companies that have openly expressed buying Bitcoin. Now, I said openly expressed. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. I'm more terrified about those private companies, right? So let's take a closer look. So starting off at the very top, right, we have MicroStrategy. So this is a business analytics giant, and this company very, very much has a lot in reserve. 71,079 Bitcoins in reserve. In my wallet, I haven't even gotten one Bitcoin. I haven't got 0.000 is all I see in my Bitcoin. That is insane. Not hating on them, but I'm just saying. It's very, very interesting. Over $3 billion of Bitcoin. Insane. $3 billion. I just want you all to remember that they're investing billions, not millions. They're investing billions. The CEO was buying $1,000 in Bitcoin every second. Here's the CEO of the company. Some have asked how much Bitcoin I own. I personally hold 17,732 Bitcoin, which I bought at $9,000, $882 a share. Not a share, a coin. I informed MicroStrategy of these holdings before the company decided to buy Bitcoin for itself. Oh my goodness. Very interesting. So let's move on. Number 2, Tesla, our favorite electric vehicle company in the United States. Very recently, they shocked the world saying they were adding $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin to their, portfolio and holdings, which was around 7.7 of Tesla's cash at the time. So that's very, very impressive because 7.7 is a very high number to be speculating with. A lot of people will say speculation is 1%. And if they're speculating with 7%, I wonder what they would be actually going into the full market with if they were bullish on it. So very interesting because Elon Musk always talks about Bitcoin. He talks more about Dogecoin, but I think he's trolling on the internet. I think he's more interested in accumulating Bitcoin than anything. And then next we have Galaxy Digital Holdings. So this is another digital currency investment giant. So they're holding 16,402 Bitcoin, worth over $770 million at current prices. Maybe worth more than that now. But it's very interesting. And then we have Grayscale, which I mentioned earlier, but they're currently holding $30.4 billion worth of cryptocurrency. I just want people to remember that I'm saying billion because these people are saying they're speculating with the market, right? So I want to see what happens when they don't speculate with the market, especially when they're holding on to these coins and the supply is shrinking. So it's going to mean that we're not going to have anything left in the market and the prices are going to be insane. I think the cycle that we're entering, that we're supposed to be entering, this bear market, I think this bear market of cycle is going to look very different from what people think the cryptocurrency bear cycle should look like. I don't think the crash is going to look as much as people intend for it to look. So we have CoinShares, another company here. that is a digital asset investor. They are also invested in Bitcoin, $3.2 billion. So I'm just going to go through this quickly. 22,000 Bitcoin, $1 billion. And Tyler Winklevoss, this is the Facebook person that sued Facebook in the past. He's a very, very famous person for owning a lot of Bitcoin. We have another group here owning over 69 million. 600 million. $12,000, 12,000 Bitcoins. And then another fund here that also owns a lot of Bitcoin, $536 million. Grayscale again, we have them here again. They own another $330 million worth of Bitcoin. So basically you get the gist here. These companies are just buying it out. So the honorable mentions I want to talk about that are very interesting is Square. That wasn't on that list, but Square, they invested over $150 million very recently, and in the past had 50 million, which brings them to around $200 million worth of Bitcoin. The other interesting thing is they have a platform called Cash App that allows people to invest in Bitcoin through them. And their customers bought $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. So the interesting thing is these companies right here, so Square, and we also have PayPal over here, which recently just launched trading of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency on their platform called Venmo. So they are also bringing these things to consumers, the consumer markets. And the interesting thing is these companies are peer-to-peer lending or payment platforms. So Cash App and Venmo, that's how people send each other money today. Can you see the picture? Can you see the writing on the wall? Sending people money today. I wonder what that integration is going to look like when people are able to send Bitcoin to each other through Cash App and Venmo. The writing's on the wall. MicroStrategy, we talked about already as well. Silvergate, another big company, $5 billion. I'm just pointing out the amount of money that is flowing into this market from all of these companies that said, not companies, but all of these institutional people that said Bitcoin was nothing in 2017 in the first cycle. This is the second cycle. They're saying something completely different. Matter of fact, they're not saying anything. They're just buying Bitcoin. They're not saying anything. There's nothing to be said. They see the value and they're just buying Bitcoin. Or at least they're speculating with billions of dollars. Speculating. We've talked about these companies. Anyway, I'm sure you get the picture, right? So the name of the game is Bitcoin is here to stay. Bitcoin is here to stay. And here's the thing. You got to stay close to Bitcoin. Right, so there are so many altcoins out there that people are talking about. I've talked about a few too. There are only two other platforms that I think will have a similar network effect to Bitcoin as time keeps going, and I am paying very close attention to those. I've mentioned both of them in the past. Number one, we have Ethereum, and number two currently is Solana in my head. Anyway, it was your boy Elijah bringing you updates on smart investing strategies. My goal is to help you make better decisions by bringing you the facts. I am not a financial advisor, so anything I share with you today should be used as a starting point to do your own research and make your own decisions. I love y'all. I wish y'all the best, and I hope y'all make the best of every opportunity. I will catch you tomorrow with more opportunities. Peace.